What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be going over exactly what I would do if I had to start reselling today from scratch. Now, if you guys want to see more reselling videos just like these, be sure to subscribe. But I hope this video is helpful, and let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to need to do is figure out how much capital we have, because that's really going to determine how we're going to be buying. So if we only have $500, then we're not going to go out and buy a $400 dishwasher or a $400 oven, because that's going to be pretty much all of our money. So if we have something like $2,000 though, then it's okay to make those big purchases, and those big purchases, they're going to be worth it. I mean, like the ovens I've had in the past that I've bought for $400, I made about $400 on them as well. But that's just an important thing to think about, how much capital you have. Now, if you have the smaller amount of capital, say only 500, then we're going to be going for flips that are in like the $50 to $80 range. Because while yes, we're not going to be able to get a ton of them, we can still get a few of them. But the main thing we need to focus on if we don't have a lot of capital is quick flips. We don't want to be buying things that take a couple weeks to sell, because we don't have that much money to spend. We want things that are going to sell within like 2, 3, 4 days max. So some good items, for example, Pokemon cards always do well. Really anything that's hype. So not so much clearance finds. While yes, clearance finds can definitely be a great option if they're cheaper, the main things that usually move the quickest are going to be new things that are releasing, because all the hype's built up around them already. So if you're able to get it on drop day, then it's usually a same day pre-sale, or a couple days later you'll sell it. So drops are going to be a big thing you need to focus on if you don't have a ton of capital. But going back to what I said earlier about the slow movers, we can't afford to have things that take 2-3 weeks to sell, because there's going to be so many more new things that drop and are discounted in those times, but we're not going to have any money because we spent it all on slow movers. Now, once we build up capital and we have thousands of dollars in capital, then it's okay to have those slower movers, because we still have money to spend on the stuff that's currently dropping and going on sale. Now, one of the first things I would do after knowing how much capital I have is join a group. Now, obviously, I'm in Divine. I think they're the best group out there, but really, you join whatever group you want to join. I'm going to stick with Divine, and I mean, that's what I've used to make thousands of dollars a month. But at least Divine is going to cost you $75 a month. But a lot of people will see that and think, oh, that's a lot of money. You can make $75 on one profit on one flip, so that covers the membership for a whole month. So obviously I think it's worth it. But if you want to test it out, you can get a 5-day trial, so you can go do that. But after that, it's really just waiting for stuff to drop or go on sale. Now, at least inside Divine, we have pretty much a daily schedule where we'll post all of the daily drops that are happening that day. And usually there's at least one drop a day. There's very rare where there's no drops or no discounts throughout the day, but it does happen here and there. But regardless, there's usually at least one thing a day. Sometimes there can be 5+ things in a day. But if it's an online drop, going back to depending on how much capital you have, obviously you want to buy accordingly. But if it's an online drop and you have a bunch of capital spend, try to get as many as you can as possible if it's something that's going to be a really quick flip. If you have less capital though, just go for 1 or maybe 2. If it's $50, you can spend $100 on something, that's all right. And then as soon as you buy it, go and list it on sale for pre-sale. Now, pre-sales are really, really great, especially if you have low capital, because it just lets you turn your money around quicker. You don't have to buy the thing, wait a few days for it to even ship, and then get to your house, and then list it for sale, and then get your money. You can literally, you can buy it, 5 minutes later, you can post it and it can sell, and you've been paid already. Now, obviously, depending on how new your account is on eBay, Mercari, wherever, sometimes it will take a couple days to actually get your payout. So do keep that in mind. But as you get along and you build up that history, then those will start to be faster, and you won't have to wait until the buyer gets the stuff to actually get paid out. Now, if it's an in-store flip, once again, buying accordingly, we'll check the stock around us, see if whether it's an in-store drop or a in-store discount. We'll check the stores and see if they have any stock all through the Discord. We're not going to go to each store to check for stock. We'll use the Discord to make sure the stores are going to have stock. Once they do, we're going to go there and say there's 5 stores. Each store has two of, we'll just say, a weed eater. Each store has two weed eaters that are normally $500. They're discounted down to $100. For example, the Makita ones that I actually just bought not too long ago. We're gonna go to all 5 of those stores and buy all 10 of those weed eaters total if we have a few $1,000s in capital. If we only have, say, 500 in capital, then go out, buy 1, maybe 2. If it was something like the weed eater, that one exactly, I would buy 2 just because of the way they sell and how you can sell them. But if you have a lot of capital, we're gonna clear out all the stores around us, get as much stock as possible. Now, once we've made our first buy, whether it be online or in store, always, I can't stress this enough, post your things as soon as possible. I like to do it this exact same day I get it. At the very latest, do it the next day though. Because if you buy something and it takes you 4 days to even list it, that's 4 days that it could have already been sold and you could have already got your money and reinvested and bought something else. So always post stuff as soon as you can. And of course, basic listing stuff, take good pictures, good lighting, clear background, clear images of all angles if it's something that is very unique. But just take good pictures. Y'all can use common sense on what a good picture is. And put a good title in there. Make sure it has brand, just any details, new in box. You can even put just like little specifications it has, whether it be like a blue, if say it's like a shirt, like dark gray wash t-shirt. Y'all know how it is. But good description as well. Make sure you try to answer any questions that your buyer could possibly have without them having to ask it. So go and just think through that, put it in the description. Don't overcomplicate it. It's really simple. And if it's an in-store thing, go and post it on eBay, Mercari, and Facebook. If it's a online thing that you're just posting for pre-sale, you just do eBay for now. Once it finally gets in, if you still haven't sold it, then you can post on Mercari and Facebook. But utilize all 3 of those platforms. I mean, for me, I sell probably 40% eBay, 40% Facebook, and then 10% Mercari. So obviously eBay and Facebook are my main 2, but Mercari still does have some good stuff in there that sells. And you'll notice as you get through stuff, certain platforms, certain stuff sells better. So like Mercari, niche stuff sells pretty well on there. Then eBay is gonna be for more like hype stuff. Facebook is usually really good for clearance things. Now, after you have everything listed, once something finally sells, and what if it's online, say for example, ship it out that same day. I don't care if it's 9 p.m., ship it out that same day. Now, obviously, you can't drop it off at 9 p.m., but go ahead and get the printing label, get it packed up, ready to go, and then the next morning you send it out. Because not only is this going to, if you have to wait for payouts from delivery, it's going to make that faster, but also your buyers are going to be more happy if they get their things faster. And happy buyers leads to more positive feedback, leads to a better eBay account, which leads to more sales. So get stuff out fast. Now, if you're selling something on Facebook, respond to people fast. Don't take 5 hours to respond to somebody. Now, you don't have to be like on your phone 24/7 getting ready to text people, but really I'd say anything over like 2 hours, you're pushing it. Like, you're trying to make a sale, they're trying to be a potential customer. You want to make that deal as smooth as possible and happen as fast as possible. Especially on Facebook, people lose interest so fast. So both with shipping and responding with people, just do it in a timely manner. Now, after we have everything listed up for sale, we're just going to be continuing to monitor for more drops and discounts. Now, once again, we're buying accordingly to our budget. If we only have, say we bought 2 of those Makita trimmers and we only had 500 total, we're down to $300. So something drops for $50, sure, we can buy 1, maybe buy 2. Something drops for $100, probably only buy 1 now. Now we're down to just $100. Now, hopefully at this time, it's probably been 2 or 3 days, hopefully one of those first items has sold or at least gotten some traction and some messages or some interest. Now, really from there, especially if you're just starting out, if you only had $500, there's going to be things you miss out on. Even when you have thousands to spend, you're not going to be able to buy every single thing that drops. Not only because, well, really mainly just because you're not going to be awake 24 hours a day. Like just last night at like 3 a.m., there were some HP laptops that went on sale. I was sleeping at 3 a.m. So don't like feel bad for not being able to get stuff, because you're going to be able to get stuff in the end. There's so many things, there's so many possibilities. So don't be upset if you miss out on one specific item. Now, especially since we're just getting started, inventory is going to be a big deal for us. We're going to need to be buying a lot because you can only sell as much as you buy. Now, if you have thousands of dollars, then you should be spending at least 80% of that. Now, I know that sounds like a lot, but we're not just spending it on random things. Buy smart. Do your research. Don't put $3,000 into something that sells one time a month. That's just dumb. Now, you can buy like maybe 2 or 3 of those that sell one time a month because you're able to withstand that longevity of holding it. But if you have $500, obviously don't do that. And even if you have $500, I'd say only spend up to $400 of that. Keep that last $100 as like a last resort if there's some absolutely crazy drop or crazy discount. Like yesterday, there was these Disney Topps cards that were dropping. So they do these every year, but these are absolutely insane money. Now they do cost a lot of money. Each box is $400 each, but they sell for $1,000 each. So that's a ton of money. So even if you only had $500, I would still recommend to go for that because of those things. People are selling them within the hour after buying them. So it just depends on the item. Now, obviously, if you guys have certain questions about a certain item, you can always ask me over on Instagram. I always link it down below. But we just need to focus on buying, because if you don't have $20,000 worth of inventory, you can't sell $20,000 in a month. And obviously, if you have less money, it's going to be a slower journey, but just stick with it. And another super important note, reinvest all of your money. You shouldn't, if you only have $500, you shouldn't be doing this full time because it just doesn't make sense. But all that money you make from reselling, so you buy something, sell it for buy it for $100, sell it for $150. Put that $150 into another item or into another few items. But don't do that and then take that $50 out and go spend it on food or something. Now, that's going to be one of the key points to scaling fast. Now, for me, when I first started, I started with shoes, but I would put all of my profits right back into more shoes. And I was even working at a chicken restaurant at the time. All of my paychecks and all of my tips would go into this. Now, I get it if you have to pay rent or if you have certain responsibilities. Now, back then I was 15, so I literally had to pay for gas, and that was about it. But I didn't even have to pay for gas then because I was 15. But you get the idea. And after that, all it is just rinse and repeat. Buy more things, sell more things, reinvest more money, buy more things, sell more things, reinvest more money. It's just how it is. It's super simple. Now, once you start building up to these like $10,000+ capital ranges, that's when you can like really make some crazy purchases, like dropping $5,000 on some jackhammers or $3,000 on some saws, $3,000 on some ice makers. Now, obviously, it's going to take a little bit to get to that point, but once you do, it's going to be worth it, and you can get there. You just have to keep reinvesting and you'll be set. And as well with this, you can also buy larger items in terms, this depends more so on how much space you have. For example, if you're doing this in, say, a college dorm, you can't really be buying like 150 cases of flooring or 2 ovens, 2 fridges, 2 washer dryers. So obviously it depends on your situation, but you could even go out and get a storage unit to put some of these bigger things in, because these bigger things, while yes, they cost a lot, they also make a lot of money. Because, I mean, most of them are close to 100% ROI, but at that much cost, that's $400, $500 in profit. So definitely don't just forget about those just because they cost a lot. Now, obviously, the more you spend, the more you're going to make in most cases. Now, don't buy dumb stuff. But yeah, that's really exactly how I do it and scale up. Once again, obviously it's going to take time. It took me 2 or 3 years to get to this point where I'm at now. But is it worth it? Yes, 100%. Now I can do this full time. If I want to go out to lunch with my mom on a random Tuesday at 2 p.m., I can. I don't have to go ask off from work. If I want to take my brother to school in the morning, if I want to take him to work, pick him up from work at night, that's an option for me because I've been able to grow and build this business to where it's at now. But all right, y'all, that's going to be the end of this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you have any more specific questions, you can always ask them down in the comments or message me on Instagram. And if you guys have any video suggestions or things you want me to make videos about, just drop them down in the comments or message me about them. I'd be glad to make them. I'm always looking for more content ideas. But if you guys want to see more videos like these, as always, subscribe. If you like this video, found it helpful in any way, please drop a like. But let's finish it off with a prayer for if you're just starting out in your reselling journey. Dear God, I pray for everyone who's watching who is looking to get into reselling, that you would give them courage, wisdom, and patience as they start this new step into business. Lord, I pray that you would help guide them in this journey, help guide them through the challenges, help them to learn, help them to not only make money, but also to grow closer to you, meet new people. God, I pray for anybody who doesn't know you yet, that you would send people into their lives to show your love to them, that you would draw them closer to you, Lord. Thank you for all the blessings you've given us. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see y'all in the next one.